on getting space. Wow.
Yes, people, we are live. Black Eyes TV back again with a lovely show with some beautiful sisters. The Vision Board Experience with No Ordinary Woman, hostess and co-hostess sometimes, or helper, will clarify. Here again with my guy, Mr. Riggs. Speak to the people, them. Talk to them.
Peace, family. I want you to share, like, and subscribe. This is a paradigm and information that you actually need to hear and understand. We have two beautiful sisters online coming to talk about their experiences and what they're about, because we need to share this paradigm to the rest of the people out there. As we can see the title today, it's the vision board, you know? So it's something that needs for you to help you to get to where you need to be, your purpose. Now I'm going to introduce the first lady as the No Original Woman chat show, Miss Kazmak.
What's up?
So I want you, Kazmak, as I know you're the first online.
Yeah.
We want the people out there, the family out there, to know who you are and what you're about. And let's just begin from that part of history of how you brought yourself to where you are from the beginning.
Okay, all right. So my name is Kazmak. I am the founder and presenter of No Ordinary Woman Chat Show. If you haven't subscribed, please do so after the show. And we're on No Ordinary Woman Chat Show on YouTube. So it's an online platform. The platform is basically a platform to inspire female with purpose. And what I mean by that is we have various different women who come onto the show who share their story of how they started their journey, whether they're an actress, whether they're a musician, an author, whatever their profession may possibly be. They come onto the show and they share their journey. Sometimes on the show, we have women who talks about things that they have dealt with in terms of, like, say, depression, being raped, all sorts of tragedy, but they've shown that how they've overcome those hurdles in their lives to inspire other women. So it's just a case of other females watching the show and just being inspired, because there's something in those women's lives that the viewers could actually resonate with. And because they can resonate with it, then it kind of inspires them, empowers them to say, you know what, if they've done that and they've gone through X, Y, Z, then you know what, it's all good. I can do more or less the same thing. So that's what the show is about. For myself, in terms of how the show started, 2014, I was going through a very, very low stage in my life. I was going through depression, suicidal thoughts, and self-harm. And that is something that I've been struggling with from such a young age. I basically went away on a Christian retreat, and that's where I just had the vision in terms of doing a chat show to inspire other women. And I guess, to be quite honest, it was really started with me first, dealing with my own issues, dealing with my problems that I was going through. And now we've got a show 2 years later. Now we've got No Ordinary Woman Chat Show. So I hope I answered your questions, Mr. Riggs.
Okay, and now we've got the one and only Coach Carla.
Hi.
Introduce yourself and tell us what you're about, because the public out here want to know what you are.
Hi, my name's Carla, Coach Carla. I'm a life coach and personal development coach, and basically my journey, I think, started a very, very long time ago when I was this high, 7, 8 years old. I was always sort of advising and guiding my friends and my family. And they kind of saw me as like the Marjorie Fruit. She's like an old English agony aunt, and she used to write for the Daily Mail. So that's what my mum used to call me. So I always think I had a purpose to kind of enrich and empower people. But it wasn't until I was on maternity leave with my firstborn daughter, and I was watching a show over here in England, the Jeremy Kyle show. It's a bit like the Jerry Springer show in the States. And there was a life coach on there, and she was speaking into the guests with such passion and purpose. And I was like, guess what? I want to do that. So I kind of went on a course and I explored it. And when I finished the course, it was a lot of money. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't actually afford to do those modules. So I went and I researched and I've done my own life coaching diploma course, and I got qualified. And I'm now working with children in college to empower them as an intervention coach. And I thought, you know what, let me set up my consultancy. So that's what I'll be launching on the 25th of March at our event. And yeah, so this is Coach Carla today. This is who I am.
Okay, so now, Coach Carla, Kazmak, as always, first most, as women, we want something of your history that we can relate for the young youth out here at the precise moment of motivation of your experiences.
Yeah, I would say for me, dealing with the youth, basically, sometimes the youth don't always know what they want to do. And guess what? That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. So I would say explore as many things as you can. And if there's something that you're really, really good at, and people are saying, you know, you're good at it and you enjoy it and you have a passion for it, explore it. You know, time goes really, really quickly, because I can remember when I was in my early 20s, and now I'm double that. So therefore, it's like, when you have a passion, when you have a desire, go and explore it. The world really is your oyster, and you will come up against challenges, because although I'm a coach, I'm not on cloud 9 every day. You know, I have my challenges, etc., etc. But explore your skills, tap into what you're really, really good at. That's my advice. That's what I would say.
And for me, yeah, sorry. And for me, I would just say, be yourself, be your own leader. You know, just don't. I know there's a lot of peer pressure out there, but just be true to yourself, accept who you are, be comfortable in your own skin, because as we can see that, you know, society is changing, and there's a lot of, we have so much, we're influctuated with so much information in terms of like social media. There's that constant trying to be liked and all of that kind of stuff, and just don't be focused on other people, because people are like the weather. So just be focused on yourself, be focused on who you are, and explore who you are, because you know, you don't, even when you're in your 20s, sometimes you don't even know who you are as an individual, as Coach Carla also mentioned. But just be true to yourself and be your own leader. Don't be a follower, even though you want all these people to follow you and all this crap, but not crap, but what I'm saying, just be your own leader and stay focused on yourself.
Listen, I want to get into the show, Kaz. Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. I know you interview an eclectic mix of women who do a whole load of things. What are your favorite shows? What shows really inspire?
Oh mate, that's a biased question, man. I don't even want to answer that question.
Yeah,
come on.
The honest truth is, they're all my favorite, because each and every single one of those women, they come with difference. Do you know what I mean? They all come with various different challenges. They've got different skills and things like that. So it's really kind of, it's going to be quite hard for me to actually say, right, that's my absolute favorite episode, because they're all unique and I love every single one of them.
Okay, then I would say is, how would you find an approach, or how would you say, which one would you say was your most inspiring and most challenging, of able to conversate or relate to the person that you have in front of you? Because there's a lot of women out here, or a lot of children, that would like follow your inspiration of being a presenter, and they want to know, because I know how people get stage fright and they get these certain little issues of able to conversate or talk to people. What show would you say was difficult, and how did you combat that show in your own perspective?
What comes to the top of my mind, there was one episode, it hasn't come out yet. It was with a young lady called Anika Allen. Because generally what happens when we actually research, or we get females asking could they come on a show, I get their bios, so I've got all this information about them, who they are, etc. And when I read her bio, she was like, oh my gosh, she's done all these things, and you know, she's just amazing and everything else. And I started to feel, if I'm going to be really honest, I felt really like, I don't know if I can do this, do you know what I mean, kind of thing. And I just got through it because I had to look at it. She's just another human being. She's just like me, but she just got this experience and, you know, things like that. She's just another person. So that was a main person, to be quite honest, currently up to date. The one show that I would say that kind of resonated with me was Noreen Cato, who's a Gospel Award winner. Because her story, I could resonate with it so much in terms of my own personal, what I've gone through as well. So even before set and after set, we was talking about it, and she really encouraged me, and we are friends and everything else. So that's been beautiful that I'm able to formulate some sisterhood circle with some of these women. And she also encourages me daily as well. She, you know, she takes time out for me as well. So I'm really appreciative of her. But I will say, in terms of that episode, it really resonated for me because I could actually identify and resonate with it.
Okay, Coach Carla.
Yeah.
In your similarities, in you being, because you coach people and you give people direction, where would you say event or classes where you would say you grasped your challenges? Was it like your first one, your second one, or what kind of challenge did you receive, and how did you deal with that challenge?
I would say, I'd say in my day job, I'd say coaching my students, because a lot of my students don't come to me ready to be coached. So that's a challenge in itself. They come with a barrage of issues. You know, it might be anxiety, stress, or whatever. So I have to get them to a place where they start to believe in themselves. And it might be a little challenge. It might be the fact that they came to college and they went to class, you know, and to us, that's like, well, you know, you enrolled in college, so you should be doing that anyway. But sometimes when people come with issues, that, you know, the simplest thing is a challenge. So I start with little small steps, and then we start to grow, and then we look back at progress and we celebrate progress. And I think for my clients that I coach in the consultancy, are the same with my students. You have to celebrate the successes, and every achievement, every way forward, every step forward is a success. And I think we're so hung up on achieving and achieving and achieving. We never actually pat ourselves on the back and say, guess what? I done this. Yeah. So for me, it's really, really important for all of us, you know, man, woman, and child, whenever you achieve something, or if you see someone else achieving something, take them aside and say, guess what? I'm so proud of you. And I do that a lot with my students. I do that with my clients, and I also do it with my children, because it's so important.
Okay. So like, I want a little bit deep.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask both of you, because, you know, a lot of people out here, they find a lot of challenges and they ask the questions. How is it when you was growing up? How would you say you dealt with the family as well as you having a family?
Say that again, sorry.
How did you deal with your family, as in your mum and father, and how did that correspond in you dealing with yourself and your family? Do you want to go first, Kaz, or shall I go first? You go first.
I'll go first.
You got the family.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I would say, sorry, for me, my mum, I grew up with my mum. My dad he's an absolute father. But I think for my mum, she was a fantastic role model. And I think that because she was so good and mum was handling her business, so she was working, she was a mother of 3 girls. So that in itself came with challenges. There wasn't a father figure. So she brought us up in a household, and we were very, very close. When I went to college and I sat an exam and I failed my exam, and I would come home and say, oh, Mum, I failed again. My mum would just uplift me, and she'd be like, Carla, don't worry, you can take it again. So I think that foundation has led me to be the person I am. And maybe that is why I've sort of fallen into coaching quite easily, because I was empowered as a child, as a young girl growing up, you know. So in turn, that was something natural for me to do, to empower people. So I guess that foundation for me, luckily, has always been there. And no, it hasn't come from my mother and my father. It's just come from my mother. So I've sort of run with it, and in turn, I can deliver that for my children.
Okay, so Kaz, in your perspective, how would you say your family has empowered you to be the person you are today, and for you to able to create what you're doing right now?
I would say my family, I mean, my story is opposite from Carla. I mean, I was brought up by both my parents. Both had me very young, but the difference with my family was that my dad was quite abusive. So because there was abuse in the household and everything else, I wasn't encouraged, I wasn't inspired, I wasn't empowered about anything. I was very told the opposite, like, you know, you're not going to amount to be nothing, that sort of thing. What the show has done for me in terms of doing this, because of the journey that I've had to go through in order to be where I am today, is to deal with those curses that have been spoken onto me. What's empowered me now is to know my worth, to know that I am loved, and to love myself first, regardless of, you know, the upbringing that I had. And to be able to forgive, and to forgive myself, and to forgive my parents as well. And I have a beautiful relationship with my parents now, which I didn't have before, but that's come with healing and growth for myself. So that's what I was saying now, is that I'm empowered because of my journey, because of what I've gone through, and because of understanding what my parents also went through as they were growing up. It's also helped me to be understandable to when I speak to obviously young people, or even to adults, in regards to their struggles, to say, you know, you need to look at what that person went through. Not saying that you excuse that person's behavior, but just to make people look at things from two different perspectives, rather than just looking at yourself as being a victim. So that's what's empowered me. And now my parents, you know, they cheer me on all the time. You know, and it's great. It's really great. Yeah.
But in looking at that, right, it's like turning an indirect negative into a positive.
Yeah.
But an overall, it kind of breaks it down that it is a full positive, because sometimes we might have to go through hardship to able to get the positives out of it. So I get to understand your story in that format.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to show people out there, especially the community, is sometimes we go through a lot of hardship and we feel the negative things of it and thinking it's a failure, it's a disaster, and we continue to take that virus along with our journey. But sometimes we have to do hardship or the difficulties to able to do the positive thing in life.
Absolutely. Also, what I would also say is that how sometimes when you go through certain challenges, hardship in life, it really shows you who you are as a person. It shows you your strength. It shows you, that you are an overcomer. And, you know, the decision has to start with self. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's either you remain as being a victim or you become like a hero. You understand what I'm saying? So you have a choice, you know, at the end of the day, like, I think it was Les Brown or somebody like that, one of the motivational speakers said, you know, sometimes you just dish out a certain hang of cards, you know, and it may not be positive, it may not be great, but who else would you rather those cards be handed out to? Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we just have to just say, right, this is what I've been dealt with. I've got to make a good thing out of this old bad situation. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a choice. It's down to the individual. You know, we have no control of what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow, but it all depends on your mindset, what you decide what's going to be, you know, the positive for you. What do you want your outcome to be? We have that choice.
Yeah. So we have these narratives, but in a couple of minutes, I have to do a few advertisings. But in that format, I would say is there any sponsors that you want to highlight as this precise point that you would like to big up to the general public that is sponsors for your event?
Yeah, we've got loads.
We got
Yeah, we're going to be having dialogue. So we're going to have keep on having this dialogue, but in between we're going to be able to give the public some of the sponsors and some of the things that people are actually got their feet on the ground doing. So as I said, if you've got what you want to actually talk about or abbreviate over before we go into the second part of the dialogue again, please do.
Okay.
Is there any? Just one at the moment? You got any?
I will say, how did you want to go? Or I will say, Christ-like Creation. It's a young woman who's sponsoring our event. She makes cakes and she does candles. She does like artwork. She's got an amazing story as well. She's gone through some trauma, but she just keeps on going. She just keeps on, rising up, and she's got her own business. She's won awards as well. I believe it was like best business or something for 2017. And she's a woman that I definitely will want to have on a show in the near future. And I just want to say thank you so much for sponsoring our event. The Ordinary Woman Chat Show presents Coach Carla Workshop Experience. So guys, if you're watching and you want to know all about it, please go check it out on Eventbrite. If you're in the UK, you can purchase your ticket today. And so we just want to big up Christ-like Creation. Her name is Shauna. So big up yourself, girl.
Yeah. And can I do one? Mama Sia, she's also coming to exhibit at the event. And Mama Sia, her journey again is one of wanting to step into business and being very, very fearful. And now she does loads of sort of like organic shea butter stuff, and it comes from Ghana. She has a farm in Ghana, so she goes and they source the product and everything. But Mommy, she was very, very fearful about stepping into the business, and I think that she asked God. She was like, God, should I be doing this? And she got a sign, and she's just sort of that she's her and her business partner Sam. They're just going, they're really going for it. So they're doing really, really well. We're honoured that she's at the event.
Yeah, as you know, that's my business partner. Thank you for pushing her forward. I know her journey, and she is doing great things within the community, even in the south border of the region. So as I say to people out there, I'd like you to share, like, keep on liking and keep on sharing, and subscribe to the Black Eyes TV 7. As you know, we are going to the US on July the 7th, which we have what we call the Cyanetta Awards. And the big thing is that we're looking to take at least 20 to 30 people from the UK to able to build a beautiful bridge with the Americans, because it's all about unification. And this unification is where we have what we call the GoFundMe, which I will put in the inbox and showing you the UK USA link up. It's called the GoFundMe UK USA link, where we're taking a whole heap of our media, all people in different aspects of life, as well as what we call the guiding with a new generation, and we're going to make an impact in the States. And if future in the present future, we were able to do the same thing of bringing the Americans over to the UK and doing the same thing. So if you have the opportunities, go into the chat box or go into the bio, and you will able to find the link. So then all we're asking you for is, even if it's just £1 or $1, please donate to the cause. Richie, are you there?
I'm still here, brother. I'm still here.
Yeah. So, we want you to go on about the Black Eye stores, because you need to promote that as much as possible as well.
Black Eye stores coming soon. www.blackeyestores.com. Go there now. Register your email. You can get all them deals first. get all the information on your teachers. We're going to be bringing a whole load of products from the UK and from the USA, and hopefully from the continent as well, all to one internet space. All sorts of teachers like Queen Afua, Marindina, Red Pill, Blue Pill from America, Katie the Arch Degree, books from all sorts of people and scholars, Brother Jabari, Anthony Broder, hopefully, Black History activity books, go there, DVDs, health products, fashion, coming soon, services, look out for it. There will be more as and when necessary. But for now, as I said, you can go and register your emails so you're first to know about the deals and the new products that will be hitting the streets. RBG, Nagas footwear, all sorts coming there,
Okay. Now let's start this dialogue. Richie, I want you to put your input in with your dialogue.
Where I want to come in now, this is what I want to talk about. I want to go back to the show because we know now it's the 1 year anniversary of No Ordinary Woman. So again, it's been a journey, but I want to talk about the importance of having our own media, because obviously you're on our platform today talking about your own platform, but talk to the people why it's important to have Black media, to have talk shows and platforms like yours, like ours, talking about our narrative.
Okay, well, first and foremost, let me just say, this is for the Not Ordinary Woman Chat Show. It's not really just for, say, Black people. Even, yes, I'm a Black woman, but we do have women of other different ethnic groups who are actually on the show as well. So our target audience, I wouldn't say is primarily just for Black people. However, in regards to your question, for myself, I think it was, personally, I think it was important to have somebody like myself who other people could identify themselves with, who, you know, speak normal, you know, may come and say certain colloquial slangs, things like that, that they could relate to and understand. But in terms of the platform, I thought it was more imperative because, you know, even when you watch something like, say, Loose Women on ITV, it's not necessarily targeted to somebody of my, you know, as a Black woman, and the conversations that they have, I don't find it relatable. So what I was finding is, okay, if you're not really engaging with those types of platforms, then you need to then do something about it, you know, because sometimes a lot of us will say, complain about certain things, but how much of us are actually doing certain things? You know, it doesn't have to be massive, but just starting from something is better than nothing. So, but I think it is important that we do have our own media platforms as Black people, because we need to have some kind of control ourselves and not just be portrayed how society wants us to be portrayed as, do you know what I mean, kind of thing. And that's one of the things that Yotunde from Mama Yates, who's a Nigerian, but she's a UK actress. She's on the last episode, which aired yesterday, and she talks about that. She talks about those challenges in terms of what society will give her as a Black woman in terms of roles, that they will tend to give roles that, you know, it just makes Black people look stupid, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And she just has to be kind of responsible to ensure that she is making sure that she's going to take roles that's going to be portraying Black people in a positive image. So I hope I've answered your question, because I can ramble a bit. But, yeah.
And Carla, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with Kaz. I think that her Kaz creating the No Ordinary Woman Chat Show is really, really poignant, and it's key. And it's really weird that you should mention Loose Women, because I actually wrote to that show via email. One day I was watching it and I actually questioned them, and I said, why aren't there any Black women on the panel? Because again, that really stood out to me. I think Jamelia was on it for a while, but that was way before. And you know, and again, she was put there to be a token Black woman to represent, you know, there's a Black woman there, and I think there needs to be shows like the equivalent in the States where there are more than one black woman on the panel. You know, in the UK, we don't find that. We do see the tokens, but we do not see like a panel of black women or men. And you know, that is something to be questioned. And Kaz, as a broadcaster, as a presenter, I salute her, and I love the show. And I like the fact that she does have an array of women. You know, I think most recently you had a plus size model on there as well, Louise, and and a Caucasian lady. And it was nice to see that, because it's being aware of what's going on. And as Kaz is doing things, so I definitely salute that. But I also acknowledge that watching telly in the UK doesn't always represent me as a black female.
And sorry, Mr. Riggs, but also what because for myself, because even when one of the things what I noticed when I did the launch last year for the show, and I had loads of people that came to the event, and they were just like so excited. They were just like, oh my gosh, we've got like Oprah. And I'm thinking, Oprah, like, I'm not trying to be Oprah. Oprah is marvelous and everything else, but I'm not trying to be somebody else and just be me. But in terms of, I understood where they were coming from, because what they were saying is, we don't have that in England. We just don't have black women coming and just talking about real topics, you know, talking about beauty, talking about issues, you know, that TV people are just not talking about on TV. It's like as if to say they're always covering up, and they're just not talking about the real issues. And when you do see them talking about the real issues, is what is the bad news that makes the news in the newspaper. When you find out about this person's dealing with this one's doing drugs, or do you know what I mean, kind of thing. We need to have these open conversations, because these are real issues that people are facing all the time. And when we keep on watching TV, which it keeps on telling lies to us, we need to have the realness, because we've got another generation that's coming up, and they all want to be like reality TV people now. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's quite, not in a bad way, but it's quite ratchet. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm quite guilty because I do watch some of it. But at the same time, it's not portraying a positive image at all times.
Well, this is
and just to add to that, sorry, just to add to that, you know, just networking and you see that there are so many young black women, you know, our age or whatever. They're doing some fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
it needs to be highlighted and celebrated. So my thing is now, Kaz was saying that one of her guests said that every month her duty to go to 2 networking events to support that economy, to support our sisters, to support our brothers, because guess what? We're doing some fabulous, fantastic stuff. And I'm proud of it. So I think that we need to support each other, and a genuine support, a support coming from the heart, not just I'm gonna buy a ticket and show up. It's that support that well, how can I help you? How can you help me? How can we create our economy? How can we create business? How can we have that dialogue? You know, how can we have that boardroom exchange? You know, it is for us. It is for us too, and we need to kind of jump on that and be about that, and don't be shy to, you know, to say, you know, I want to do this, but it's not for us. It is for us. It's for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, it's most definitely that. I totally agree. And again, as black women, when you're talking to other black women in the community and in line with the show, is there a main problem or a main gripe that you seem to come up against? Is there a main problem that you find yourself coaching about, or it seems to be a major fixture to the story of a lot of black women when you're interviewing in the show or when you're coaching, Clara? What seems to be the running theme for you?
For me, if I'm referring to my clients that are black women, I would say that, and this isn't across the board, so I hope no one thinks I'm trying to call them out. It's we're doing everything solo, or we're doing a lot of stuff solo. And yes, it's great to have a vision board and you're aiming, you know, you want things to manifest into your life. But what I've acknowledged is that there are a lot of women doing it without, you know, a man. And I'm not saying that you have to have a man in your life, but I just think that a lot of women are kind of, they want this Mr. Right, or they want that support, or they want that, you know what I mean? So I find that a lot of vision boards are definitely about self and manifestation of that Mr. Right. So I'm not saying it's a challenge. I'm not saying, I think it's a good thing, and I think it's really good for us to have this in mind. But I think that a lot of our women seem to be doing things, you know, solo. You know, if that makes sense.
It does make sense in this day and age. Kaz, what do you have to offer?
What I've come across from doing the show is a couple of things, to be quite honest. The main thing that comes up is to deal with self-love, self-worth. That seems to be something that a lot of us as women deals with, the old insecurity, low self-esteem. And I think we don't really talk much about it. It just seems to be, you know, like everyone just seems to be, yeah, I'm all right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But, you know, in terms of those kind of issues, it's not really spoken about that much, but it is there. The old comparison and everything else, it's there. And I think it's even something that what Coach Carla said is about celebrating each other, you know, saying well done to that person, but also saying it from the right heart, from the right motive. Yeah. Another thing that I will say is that how there is women that are actually doing business who sometimes do need to have another sister because, you know, they feel that, you know, they're going through the highs and the lows. Do you know what I mean? In terms of what they're trying to achieve, it's just like going to the gym, you know, you're working out and some days you're really just motivated, you're just going to push, you know, you're just going to keep on running that treadmill, or you're just going to keep on pushing that weight. And then you start to see a difference within your body shape. But in order for you to see that difference, it's going to require you to keep on pushing. And that's the same thing in business. Do you know what I mean? In anything that we do, there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. But I think it's just a case of women having that sisterhood of circle of women that they could actually say, pick up the phone and just say, look, you know, this is what I'm going through, and, you know, can we hook up or have coffee or whatever? I think that's something that's definitely needed, especially for entrepreneurs, because, you know, there's too many women doing this in isolation, and we're not being accountable to check up on those sisters. And I feel that we need to start forming that, rather than just liking somebody's post on social media. Pick up the phone and just say, yo, is everything all right? How you getting on? Do you know what I mean? There needs to be that form of communication.
That's so true, Kaz.
Yeah. So on the narrative, Coach Carla, Madam Carla, I want to go into your vision board. Why is it detrimental to have a vision board and understanding our purpose in life?
Okay, a vision board is, I would say everybody needs one. Everybody, man, woman, and child, seriously. And that's something that we're going to explore after we finish this event. But what I mean by that is that a vision board basically is a collective of images, quotes, affirmations. And what I say to the people that attend my workshops is that come with intent, be intentional, be on purpose. You know, when you say someone's done something with a bad intention, but this is all good intention. So I'm saying come with intention. So when you find your images and cut your images out, make them be on purpose, because whatever you stick down on your board, this is what you want to manifest into your life. Okay. And as Kaz and I discuss all the time, is that yes, you stick your images down and you put your words on your vision board, but you also have to do something about it. So there's one thing in the creation of your vision board masterpiece. But there's another thing in how you're going to make it work for you going forward. So, for example, if I've got a vision board based on finances, because again, you could have a vision board that has a collective of images, or you could be very, very focused. And a lot of when I work with my clients, a lot of them are quite focused. You know, they want to focus on one thing. And so I've got a vision board of finances, and I'm in debt, and I've got credit cards that are driving me crazy, but I need to clear my head of this debt. Okay, so on your vision board, you've got pictures of credit cards, scissors, you cutting up the credit card, of maybe a picture of your bank balance in credit as opposed to in the black. And you have to then put this vision board up in your house and go to it every morning and pray. If you pray, if praying is your thing, you know, that's fantastic. If you speak into your vision board and take this in, but you've also got to mirror your actions. So as much as those images are up there, you've got to say, well, okay, I'm not going to spend on that credit card, or I'm not. So it's about the mindset. So the vision board helps the mindset to change and for these things to manifest into your life. Okay, so it's not just about the creation of the board, it's about the actions thereafter. So that's very, very, very key. But again, I think that everybody should have a vision board. They're very, very refreshing. To produce a vision board is very therapeutic. You know, sometimes I can find myself doing a workshop for 2 hours, 2 and a bit hours, because people are really getting into the groove of it. Okay, very, very therapeutic. And again, you feel like you feel very inspired. You're like, wow, I've created this. And it's a reminder on your good days, on your bad days, and when you're just feeling just all right. So that's it. It's about the visualization, you know, and I think that's really, really key for us all.
Okay, so Kaz, in you being the as we call it, the guinea pig of the vision board, and we know you probably have gone to Coach Carla's class and created your own vision board. I want people to understand how you've utilized that vision board and how it's helping you into channeling into what you're doing today.
Okay, well, that's a really good question. For me personally, how I met Coach Carla was at one of her Your Vision, Your Life workshop experience. And I had done vision boards previously before then, but even through those vision boards previously, what I found is that things start manifesting, but not even realizing, oh my gosh, I had that on my vision board like about a year ago or 6 months ago, and things started to manifest itself. And it wasn't just a case of like what Coach Carla said, you know, you just put pictures out there. It's really just like saying, okay, this is what I want to see happen in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to create a vision board with intent of what do you want to really see happening. And even when you put those visions out there, there is strategies that you also got to apply with it, because it means that it has to be application. So for example, if you know, say, for example, you want to be debt free, and you still go out there and spend a credit card with money that you know say it's not your money, how are you expecting to become debt free if you still keep on doing something? So therefore, on that vision board, I personally will say is, okay, put that, say the word debt free, but then you could have the credit card where you've cut, you've got scissors, and do you know what I mean? There's certain things that you know within yourself, this is what I've got to now do in order for me to become debt free. It's the same thing if you say, yeah, I want to get a 3-bedroom house. Now, you could say you want a 3-bedroom house, but you've got to look at it like this. Have you done your research? Have you even been to the bank? Have you even seen how much that house is going to be? What area is it going to be in, and things like that? So it's a lot of details at the same time. But how I found the vision board works for me is having that image and even having the wording there. But it's the focus of the end result of what I want to achieve. But now I've got to do my work in order to achieve that. So it's in your subconscious mind, but you've also got to do some kind of strategic, like steps as well in order to achieve those things. So like, for example, I wanted to go to Jamaica. That was my vision board last year. So it meant, okay, if you want to go to Jamaica, even though I wasn't intentionally saving for Jamaica, but I found myself saving, and then a situation arose and I was in a position to say, boom, I can go to Jamaica, not realizing that was on my vision board 3 months ago. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's things like that. It's just, it's subconsciously you're doing things based upon what's in a vision board, but you know, you're doing it with intent. So it's, you know, you have to come to this workshop with intent for change. If you're on a joke thing, I just say don't waste your time. But you know, to be quite honest, just come expecting, just be expecting, but also understand.
And be open.
You're gonna be, yeah, you have to be open, but you have to know that how you're gonna have to also put work to it as well.
Okay, so in looking at things, how did this event itself come about? The two of you,
that was crazy.
Because you know, you are multitaskers, and you know, come together and said, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna step in. So I was facilitating a vision board event at a client's house, and Kaz was there, and I know Kaz, but I don't know Kaz, kind of thing, because we went to school. Yeah, exactly. And Kaz was at the event, and you know, she kept saying, "Oh, I've got butterflies in my stomach," and I was like, "Is that a good thing?" And I thought, "Oh my gosh, I hope I'm doing the right thing." Anyway, after the event, we exchanged numbers, etc., because it was good for me to check in on everybody to make sure that they were happy and everything. And then I think when I got home, Kaz had sent me a message saying thank you, etc. And then the next day, she was like on the phone to me, and she put a proposal to me and said, "You know what, Carla, I'm celebrating the 1st year anniversary, and I'd love for us to work together." And Terry and Mr. Biggs, it was like a no-brainer. It was like it was meant to happen. So you know, like things happen in time, on time. That's just what happened here, and that was in January, and now we're in March, and we've done all this planning, and we've worked really hard. Kaz is like, her work ethic is amazing. She's just on the go, and she's the multitasker, and she's accountable for what she does, and I find that's fantastic. So we've created this event, and it's going to be amazing because I'm working with a very amazing lady who I admire, and she inspires me. So, and I'm not just saying the right thing. It's true. It comes from the heart. It comes from the heart, and I think that if it didn't come from the heart, it wouldn't be. So yeah.
So Kaz, give us some info. Made you come to the other side.
Everything she said, I agree.
Yeah, nah, we're not having that one. We want to hear your perspective of what made you, because I know it must have been in your heart from a long time to able to create an event. So it's not just having Coach Carla there, but something triggered you to say, you know what, I need to have an event, and I'm going to do it.
You know what, to be quite honest with you, it wasn't even a case of I need to have an event. Do you know what I mean? You know, we can all have an event. Our lives are events. Do you know what I'm saying? But because obviously it was approaching the 1st year anniversary of Not Ordinary Woman Chat Show, I wasn't thinking of doing an event for the show, to be quite honest with you. But what I did find is when I posted like the pictures of my vision board, and I was talking about the vision board experience on my WhatsApp, women were like, "Oh my gosh, I want to go to a vision board party." And I was like, okay. And it would just kept on happening throughout the night. And I was like, okay, this is obviously something that is needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I was on fire, do you know what I mean? Not even realizing when I was putting those posts up that how, you know, women were up so late as well and looking. And it just came to me. It was just like, I was just like, I don't even know. I was just excited, and I just said, God, you know, what is this? Do you know what I mean? And then I remember I looked at my vision board, and it said, "The eyes of the originality and creativity." And I was like thinking, I kept looking at it because I had put that up. just about 5 hours before. Remember I said that to you, Carla? And I just thought originality, creativity, and then it was just like, you know what? Why don't you just do a vision board event? Yeah. And I was just like, yeah. And then the women can come and then they can meet the other no ordinary women that was on the show, and they can also create their vision for their life, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, this makes sense. And then also I knew Coach Carla needed to launch because she's, you know, new and everything else. She needed to launch. It was a perfect opportunity to be able to collaborate with another woman who also, like myself, is at the beginning stages. And I just think it's important that we collaborate with sisters who are just stepping out and just saying, you know what, let's do this together. Let's make this work, and let's do something where we could be of service to others. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because one of the things is, I'm not knocking anybody, but I think it's important that when you do something, it should be there to help other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think with this event, it's going to transform so many women's lives, because not only is the environment, the atmosphere is going to be beautiful, but you're going to be with women that wants change. You're going to be with women that, you know, looks like you, but wants to have changed. They want to just, you know, take their life to the next stage, whatever it may possibly be. And then we've got awesome, oh my gosh, I got to mention, we've got an awesome keynote speaker, and she is a pastor's wife. So even though she's a pastor's wife, she is very transparent. So she's not going to be like Bible bashing anybody. So please don't feel that you can't come to this event. It's not like that. But what I love about this woman, and even for Coach Carla, is that how she just comes with this wisdom about women and about, you know, who you've been created to be. You understand what I'm saying? And I think a lot of women don't really understand the power that they have. Do you know what I mean? A man can't carry a child for 9 months, even though science is trying to do that. You can't do it. It's just impossible. Where the baby going to come from? Don't know. But I'm sure not. Anyway, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, there's so much women do. We are the original entrepreneurs. You understand what I'm saying? We run a household, we keep a family, we keep a business going, we do bare things. You understand what I'm saying? But yet we are faced with so many challenges in terms of insecurity, all of these kind of stuff that we deal with all the time. So I just want women to just really come to this event, because that's something that I was dealing with myself, and I've overcome that, and just accepting who you are and being able to see another sister and say, you know what, go girl, you understand what I'm saying? And say it with love, you know? So that's where the event comes from. It was giving back.
And step into their purpose. If they haven't already realized their purpose, I'm hoping that for women that haven't, just to be able to use this opportunity to kind of explore their purpose and make connections with other women, and to step into your purpose, because we all have a purpose.
That's right. And the thing is, another thing as well is, don't compare yourself with somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Because I think, you know, like if you see like a singer or say a celebrity, we look at them and think, oh, their purpose is much greater than mine. No, it just means that that's what they do. You've got a purpose that is equally as significant as that person. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're less than that person. And I think it's just understanding. It's just like, you know, I've got every single part of my body plays, and it has a purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? My fingers will be able to hold and to touch. You know, my fingers is not going to say to my arm, oh, you don't mean nothing, because my arm needs to be able to move to be able for my finger to move. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everything is connected, and that's how we as human beings, we're all connected, but we just need to explore that bit more.
Okay, so understanding our past and understanding our present. As this big event is your anniversary, and this is your purpose and your journey, where do you see this journey going in your future?
Okay, well, in regards to with No Ordinary Woman Chat Show, collaborating with Coach Carla, we have great ideas which we've discussed in detail. And even with Now Chat Show, I'll make an announcement as well. We're going to be doing a season of No Ordinary Men. So for season 5, we will be interviewing men, talking about their journey, etc. Because what we was finding is that there's a whole female movement going on out there where we're all empowering and inspiring everything. But what about our men? Our men also needs to be uplifted also, and they also need to hear about other men who may be having certain struggles that they're going through and how they've overcome with that, because some men just don't like to talk. You know, Mr. Riggs, Richie, I know you guys like to talk, you guys are unique, but not all men like to talk. But at the same time, what we found with this as well is that we more than likely, well, not more than likely, we are going to be doing a vision board event for the men as well. That's
you guys better be there.
Sorry?
I said, those guys, Mr. Riggs and Richie, you better be there.
Yes, Mr. Riggs, you don't better be there.
But as long as you, no ordinary family.
Anyway, going back to the question, and I'll give my answer. So basically, what we want to do is just really to unify men and women together, and families, children, etc. So we're going to be looking at even young girls and young boys as well. So it's just really just like a big happy family, to be quite honest.
And it's about that too. It's about that unity.
Yeah,
bringing
us, each one of us plays a part in that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and understanding that we, even as a family, we need to unite families together.
Yeah,
we don't like our family. Like as we've got the American family, we've got the Caribbean family, we've got the African family. We all need to become one big family, because where the system is creating the divide and conquer, and we don't be put into that paradigm, because it is a paradigm. So by us giving ourselves inspiration and highlighting ourselves as much as possible through our media, through our work, and through everything that we do, then it's able to show our youth and able to give our youth a form of a legacy. So in that perspective, as I was saying, Coach Carla, in your past, present, and in your purpose of your life, of you being through the work that you're doing today, how do you see your future?
Okay, well, I think the Coach Carla Consultancy is a long time coming, because I've dealt with procrastination, and I've dealt with feeling the fear and not even doing anything, you know. So for me, the launch of the consultancy is a massive thing, because, you know, not only will I be doing the vision board stuff, but I'll be doing, you know, continuing with the one-to-one coaching and opening myself up. So I'm exposing myself as you know, Coach Carla, and it's about the brand and building that. So I see that going into that direction in terms of the consultancy. And then in terms of your vision, your life, the vision board workshop, just growing that and just continuing to deliver it, and you know, adding to it, and like Kaz was saying, you know, introducing, you know, potentially doing workshops with young girls and young boys, and really getting people on board to support the youth in life coaching, okay? Because our youth need to be life coached, and also visionaries. You know, where do they see themselves going? You know, when they finish school, do they want to go on to college, university? Put that on your vision board, and know that, you know, there's hard work behind it. You know, you're not that reality celebrity or whatever. There's hard work behind it, but hard work pays off. So those are my key messages. But I do a lot more work with the youth in creating their vision and their life, because they need that. They need that vision. They need, the youth are visual. They you know, they see cars, they see clothes, they see trainers. Let's let them see their vision board and work towards that.
Yeah.
Richard, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
At this point, I've just been listening intently, enjoying the show myself.
As usual, there's always a time for when you're always listening, but you know what, this time round, it's time for you to ask the questions that you've gone over and listened to.
No, listen, the only things I want to know really is future tense. What are your plans for the show? How do you envisage the show going in the next year or so? What kind of guests are you looking to bring on? you know, and what kind of future segments are you looking to bring? Because obviously you have the coaching corner, the advice side, as well as the question side and the highlighting of different personalities. But where do you see it going in the next year?
In terms of Not Ordinary Woman Chat Show, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what myself and the media team that I work with, I just need to big up my partner in this all as well, Mr. B.R. Ambrose from MediaNet. He has been with me through the whole journey, and I really need to just, you know, honor him and just give him full respect and just say, growth, bless. In regards to what we've been discussing, like I said, we're looking to do a season of Not Ordinary Men, first and foremost, because obviously we want to empower our men as well. Secondly, after that, we want to be obviously bringing in the children and bringing in couples who also do business. And then what we also want to do, we do want to have an award ceremony where we do actually, you know, honor these individuals as well. So where the actual public be able to just like say nominate and just, you know, just say who they believe that should be winning a Not Ordinary Woman Man award or whatever it is. But we haven't actually come up with the specific title at this present moment. But ultimately, what we do want to do is focus on doing a bit of reality TV, but reality TV in a positivity light. Do you know what I mean? So not looking at it in a negative image as some reality shows are, but looking at certain people's lives in terms of their business that they're doing, just really following them and just seeing how they overcome various different challenges to also inspire other people. So I guess we want to just kind of branch out more into doing shows in that perspective. Yeah, that's it at this present moment. But we do also want it to go globally as well, where we do look at various different not ordinary unsung heroes throughout, whether it's a male or a female, because people need to, you know, they need to be recognized and they also need to be celebrated. You understand what I'm saying? Is, you know, we have so many gifted and blessed people who are doing amazing things, and not everybody knows about these people. And you know, when you come on this show, you get to hear about those individuals, and I think that's beautiful because it makes them feel honored and special as well.
Don't you find that a lot of people don't celebrate their own personal achievements?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
in a massive way.
Sorry, Carla, I didn't mean to cut you, but think about it. Have we, you know, like when you think about us growing up, was we ever really taught to do that? I mean, for myself, I know in my household with my parents, we weren't, the only celebration you get was just about on your birthday. Do you know what I'm saying? There was no celebration in terms of.
There's one celebration I know.
Sorry?
I said there's one celebration, and there's not even one, there's two.
What's that? Christmas and your birthday?
Not even that. Most people celebrate marriage and death.
Okay.
Because it's a kind of a compulsory thing of what we do. But the small achievements is where I'm trying to gravitate to. Is
that's what I'm saying in terms of we're not really being taught how to do that. And to be quite honest, a lot of our parents wasn't taught how to do that for themselves. So it's like blind trying to lead a blind. You know, you can't bring somebody into the light if you're in a blind in the darkness yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So ultimately now we understand that it's for us to start doing that and applying that into our lives so that the youngsters can also do exactly the same, because the young people only mirror what they see us do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to start celebrating ourselves.
Yeah, in that perspective of the small little things, me just able to help an old lady across the road, that's an achievement I should celebrate within myself. Helping a child just to solve their mathematics from what they do their homework home is an achievement. So when you start to create these little achievements, it starts to able to create the bigger picture, which is our legacy.
It's even when somebody bounced you in a train station, you want to lick it down, you hold back your temper. That's to celebrate that you was able to have self-discipline, not to lick down that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's everything.
It's everything. Exactly. So in that perspective, to the both of you, if it's your time for retirement, what legacy foundation would you like to leave for your 5th generation? Not even your first, your 5th generation ahead of you.
You're not easy enough. 5th, you know.
Is it? I know.
Like 5th. Like, what happened to 1 and 2? You know, like, you're going way.
Because 1 and 2 is easy. You can get out of that one. But 5th generation is hard work.
Yeah, that is hard work.
Because you know what? You know, the thing is, sometimes we dismiss it. But us dialoguing on this show is a legacy for 5th generation and beyond.
True, but if they don't replace this platform by then, you understand what I'm saying? Because the way how society is moving, mate.
Yeah, but
it'll be like a hologram. It will be like a hologram. We won't even be online anymore.
How it wasn't. Remember Black Panther, how they got a hologram thing and you come up, you know, you're lit like that. I mean,
and that's going. It's even Total Recall with Arnold.
But remember, as you do your No Ordinary Woman, you don't put it online first, do you?
You put it on camera.
You put it on your camera. That's your archives. Your archives is what you tell them to pass on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's so true.
So it's little things that we have to be able to create for ourselves, even if it's just saying, you know what, for the next generation, I'm going to save for their education, so that, and I'm going to explain to them that their education is for them to build, for them to able to build a house. For the next generation, for them to build that house is to able to build another house, which they can able to probably rent out to make more money, to create a form of a business. So that, remember, in our counterparts of different other races, is the strong thing that they have. Let's just use the queen for an example, which I'm not really using, but her name, Windsor, is a legacy. Richard Branson, his name is a legacy. They can walk anywhere and people will give them anything. This is what I'm trying to include too, is able to create it to keep us, when we are gone, to keep us alive.
Right.
We are the foundation. We don't do much of that. So, as I said, I can see the women have now gone quiet, and we've been having a beautiful dialogue. And I just want you to go on.
Before you check out, let me just say again, from my aspect again, sorry you haven't got to see me this evening. Things have been running slow technically, so sometimes
excuses.
Sometimes it's expedient for me to just leave myself blank, so therefore everybody can enjoy your beautiful faces and see the information that I'm putting up right now on the screen of your event. Yeah, so I want to thank you.
Thank you.
And I also want to say a shout out to the chat room forever supporting. I want to big up Sam.
Thank you, chat room.
Sorry, can I also make some mentions as well?
Yeah, you can do that. We're going to go through that in a minute.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Richie.
That's all right, my dear. Yeah, I want to big up the chat room. I want to big up everything's everything. MBK in the house, big up. Yeah, I want to big up Torian, True Historian. I want to big up KS. I want to big up Mr. Woods, Master. Yeah, Farouk. All regular listeners, all in the chat room supporting.
Don't forget Mr. Rich.
Always supporting. Forever. Big ups. Yeah, always online. Giving support. So yeah, that's me giving my shout outs. Now over to you, Kaz. Who did you want to big up?
Yeah, I want to big up Rebel Flower London, and there's quite a few. I Love Afro as well. Kitty Locks. We mentioned Mama Sia, Mamau. Ma Riley Cakes, Media Net, done already. Tamara Events, Design, TK Williams Nelson, The Soap Connoisseur, and big up Coach Carla as well, in the house.
You up to Cam? I want to thank everybody that's supported us, who's put us on their platform. There's Slam Radio, Premier Gospel. We've also had Colourful Radio. Everybody that's actually gone out there and purchased a ticket, because that's big, that's a lot. They've spent their money. A special thanks to, again, Hazel from Tamarea Event Designer. She's been like our right-hand lady, and her support. Also, Chantal, what's Chantal? I can't remember Chantal's surname.
Mamau.
Oh, right, yeah. Chantal Mawal, and also Katrina Douglas. Just thank you for your support. My sister and all our volunteers that are coming down to help us on the 20th. Great event. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will shake everybody's hand personally, give them hugs personally, because, and also Terry.
Big up Black Eyes.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, before we go into that conclusion, I just want to put into something of promoting everybody and anyone that is possible. And I'm asking people, because we're going to the United States on the 7th of July, I want people to go to the SignetterTVAwards.com and vote for the two main people in our camp, which is Titan T Cam and MBK. I want you to vote, press all the votes so that these guys can win their awards and we can celebrate and televise this in the UK going live. This is why we're asking for you to go to our GoFundMe UK USA link up, which I'll put the link in again. And I want you to support these ladies as much as possible. Go to Kaz Matt's TV show on YouTube, which she's going to talk about. Go there, subscribe, like, do everything, share it. Because you know what? If we don't share and do things together, we ain't going nowhere. So Amen. I want you to inspire yourself by listening to these women talking their points of view, regardless of their color, regardless of where they come from, regardless of who they are, because information is information. So, as I always say, we're going to go to the Hazmac, and I want you to give the general public your last few words of inspiration. Ladies, push it away. Well, Sunday.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we got stage fright. We got stage fright.
No, I didn't get stage fright. I was just like,
before you sign out, yeah, tell the people where they can see No Ordinary Woman when you show your shows. You know, where they can see the backlog. Like, let's deal with that on a sensible way. And then, by all means,
the show, I didn't realize I could repeat.
Like, you're killing it.
Yeah, and don't forget, we have to open up and talk about how the event's going and how the Eventbrite and the whole shebang, and just sell out all them tickets to the last spot.
Yeah, well, we've only got a few more left, so if you want to, you need to act tonight.
Tonight.
What I would say as to inspire other people, just be who you have been created to be. Don't leave this earth with your dream still in you. You know, the most richest part of the world is the graveyard, as we all know, because there's so many stories, movies, various different things in the graveyard. But because people were so fearful, because they allowed their circumstances to hold them back from doing what they've naturally been created to do, because they have the gifts and the talents to be able to do those things, it went in the grave. And that meant that there's so many people that weren't able to move to their next stage because you didn't do what you had to do. So what I will really encourage anybody that's really watching currently right now, do what you are supposed to do. Whatever that burning, stirring up passion is within yourself. You may just want to say, right, I want to open up a restaurant, open a restaurant. You know, you don't have to just go out there and just say, boom, just do it big, but you can take it in stages. You could just actually start you know, cooking food in your house and then just start doing deliveries into some workplaces in the city or wherever it is that you may live. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to start small to be able to get big, but you need to step out. And also, sorry, don't look at failure as being a bad thing. Look at failure of, okay, this is what I just don't do again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's something that's there for you to actually learn from. The amount of things, I mean, if I even with our Eventbrite, if I'm keeping it real, when we did our write-up with Eventbrite with our event, one of our friends, one of somebody that was also sponsoring the event, she said to me, Kaz, I'm not being funny, but when I read your event, it just sounds dry. You understand? I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But what she done, she kept it real with me, and then she just brought me back to the vision. And she said, you know, I came to your event last year and your event was amazing, this, that, and the other. So don't look at what you've done as being a bad thing and just going back to the drawing board as being a bad thing. Just look at it as a good thing, that sometimes you may just have to do things again and it's okay, because that's what life is about. Do you know what I mean? And that's how you learn. So yeah, just step out, man. That's what I would say. Step out.
Okay. Your turn now, Miss Coach Carla.
Miss Coach Carla. For me, I would say definitely I'd underpin everything Kaz said, but also I would say listen to your supporters, because you have people out there that will always support you and always see the good in you. So, you know, a lot of people talk about the haters and the hate. No, forget about the haters. We put a big cross over the haters. Listen to your supporters and listen to what people champion you on. You know, you're good at this, you're good at that. Have you ever thought about doing that? Listen to those words, because those are the people that are seeing something in you that, guess what? You might not even see in yourself. So listen to the supporters, because they are real, as Kaz said, and they are telling you the truth. So that's what I would say. Tap into the supporters and dismiss the haters.
That's all. That's what I like to hear. Again, a beautiful way to sign out. Look at the flyer. You can see the information of the event. Terry's just taking it down. Well done. Nice one. Cheers. That's Kaz.
Is it back on there?
Okay, there you go. Riggsy's got it back up. Oh, no, he hasn't. No, he's put it down. All right, there you go. Nice one, people. But go back. It's there up throughout the show. Check it out. Go and support these ladies at their event. Go meet them in person. Speak to them about their real life experiences. Interact, communicate, which is the key. Same as all these shows that we do, you know, there's a lot of information given. It's great to watch a YouTube channel, but it's always about research. It's about human contact. It's about real communication. So never forget that. I want to say a shout out to all my other Black media stations out there telling our narrative, telling our story. Sarnet TV, Black Magic, MBK, as we said, Dagger Squad. Know the Ledge Radio, HMP TV, Titans TV, Sorrow. Yeah, all sorts of people out there doing big things. Yeah, support. I can't stress it enough. This has been the Vision Board experience with no ordinary women, cast and crew, presenters. Yeah, it's been fun listening to you ladies. Give you information. I can't wait till we do something else. And take care of yourselves, people out there. Again, big up to everybody that supported the shows. Continue.
And don't forget, Mr. Rich, we've got a double barrel show today. So we've got another guy coming in. You need to break it down before we come out.
Listen, don't worry, people. Listen, Black Eyes TV is on a double header tonight. Yeah, look out for us again in about an hour or so.
Hold on, you're having another show.
That's
Yep.
We're going in. We're going in.
Now the TV show of the world.
That's how we're doing it. Black Eyes TV. Yeah, we're gonna have Brother Sankofa, who was on the other night. He's coming back on to do. Yeah.
You're not too much.
We're going in. We're going in.
Can I just say something? I want men don't talk, but you're not going to chat.
You're not terrible.
Listen, coming from used to, I don't even have a comment.
We're gonna leave you alone and let you have your opinions. But you know what? This is for the people, by the people. Because we're black, we'll always pay black, spend black, live black, and enjoy black. Because we come from black.
Black is the color of my skin.
That's all. You done know.
That's all.
This is Black Eyes TV. Peace, people. See us later.
The color that God made.
Peace.